Hello everyone. Now we are going to see in object-oriented concept what is structural behavior and interaction, which is coming under full and full of UML. Okay. Now structural contain classes, component, deployment, object, composite structure, and packages. So element of specific irrespective of time. Okay. Behavior, it means behavior feature of a system or a business process, activity, state machine, use case, and interaction. Interaction emphasizes object interaction. So communication, collaboration, sequence, interaction, overview, and timing. So in UML class diagram, so class diagram, as we already discussed, class contains data member and member function. So class diagram which denotes attributes and operation. Attribute means type, operation means return type. So the UML class diagram is a graphical notation used to construct a visualize object-oriented system. A class diagram describes the structure of a system, such as classes and their attributes, operation method, and relationship among the objects. Class diagram used to show the existing of class and their relationship in logical view. So this is a structure classical class diagram. Here, class name mentioned as temperature sensor, attributes is a calibration temperature, measured temperature, and operation is a current temperature and a calibrate accurate temperature. So basic components of human diagram. The standard classical the class diagram is composed of three sections: upper section, middle section, and bottom section. Upper section contains the name of class. This section is always required to know whether this is represent the classifier or an object. Middle section contains the attributes and bottom section contains the operation. Operation means here method. So middle section contains the attributes of a class. Use this section to describe the qualities of a class. This only required when describing a specific instance of a class. Bottom section include class operation method displayed in the list format. Each operation takes up own line. The operation describes how class interact with the data. So rules to be followed while drawing the class diagram. Class name must be unique to its encoding namespace. The class name begin in uppercase and the space between multiple words is omitted. The first letter of an attribute and operation name is lowercase with subsequent word starting in uppercase and spaces are omitted. Since the class is namespace for its attribute and operation and attribute name must be unambiguous in the context of the class. So attribute specification, this is attributes, how the attributes can be defined. The visibility should again mentioned as plus and protected means mentioned as asterisk. The private mentioned as minus and package is tilde symbol. So visibility public means visible to any element that can see the class. Protected hash visible to other element within the class and to subclasses. Private hyphen visible to other element within the class and package visible to element within the same package. So this is an abstract class. So abstract class is one of for which no instance being created because such a class are so important to engineering good class inheritability. This is a special way to designate an abstract class. So here you could see the abstract class is one which no instance will be created. Food item, tomato, vitamin content, and caloric equivalent. So to denote that, um, yeah, to denote that the name intelligent the operation name, which means this is operation may be implemented differently by all instance of its subclasses. In a hydroponic garden system, we have food item that have a specific vitamin content and caloric equivalent, but there is not a type of food called food item. Hence, the food item class is abstract. Above figure also show the subclass tomato, which represent the concrete instable food item grow in greenhouse. The class relationship. This essential connection among classes include association, generalization, aggregation, and composition. What is association? The association icon connect two classes and denoted by semantic connection. Association are often labeled with noun phrases such as analysis, denoting the nature of the relationship. A class may have association to itself called reflexive association, such as collaboration among instances of the class. The class may have association of itself that is called reflective association. So this is the association class, the plan analysis, plan metric, growing plan, gardening plan, and fruit growing plan. Now the class may have an association to itself called reflective association, as we discussed, such as collaboration among the instances of the plan analysis class. The use of both association n names and the association name is to provide clarity. It is also possible to have more than one association within the same pair of classes. Association may be further adorned with multiplicity using the following syntax. Exactly one, unlimited number, 0 or more, 1 or more, 0 or 1, specific range from 3 through 7. It's inclusive. Unlimited means 0 or more. So generalization. Come to the generalization. Generalization icon denotes a generalization specialization relationship and appear as an association with closed arrowhead. The growing plant class in figure is superclass and subclass in fruit growing plant. Aggregation as manifest is the part of relationship is a constrained form of more generalized association relationship. So the difference between generalization and aggregation is that generalization icon denotes generalization as specialization relationship, whereas aggregation is a manifest part of relationship. It appears an association with unlimited diamond at the end denoting the aggregate, the whole, whereas the class at the other end denotes the whole instance part of aggregate also. The reflexive and cyclic aggregation is possible in figure. An individual environment controller class has the light heater and cooler classes as its form. The multiplicity of 0 or more aggregate the end of relation further highlight this lack of physical containment. Composition implies the construction and destruction of this part of the consequence of the construction, destruction of the aggregate. So the icon described thus for constitute the essential element of all class diagrams. Collectively, they provide the developer with the notation sufficient to describe fundamental for the system class structure. Classes. So classes already we described class name, attribute, operation. Attribute means declaration. Operation means method. So the class name is only required tag is here for the representation of a class. It's always up in topmost compartment. Class attribute which contains the variable declaration. An attribute is name property of a class that describes the object being modeled. In class diagram, attributes appear in the second compartment just below the non-compartment. Class attributes. Attribute usually listed in the form attribute followed by type. A derived attribute is one that can be computed from other attribute but does not actually exist. For example, a person's age can be computed from its birthday. A derived attribute is defined by preceding backslash. The attribute can be public, protected, private, or derived. So public means plus symbol. We need to use preceded this symbol public. Hash it should be mentioned before the protected. Private means minus should be mentioned, and derived means backslash. Class operation. The operation means parenthesis. We need to mention in parenthesis. Eat, sleep, work, play. So operation classes, it can be anyone. New entry, get phone, or the operation. Method, address, phone number, description. So this is also one of the way of representing the person is a class name, attribute, name, address, birth date, member functions, eat, sleep, work, and so class responsibilities. A class may also include its response in class diagram. A response is a contract or obligation of a class to perform a particular services. relationship. In UML, Unified Modeling Language, object interconnection are modeled as relationship. Three kinds of relationship in UML are dependencies, generalization, and association. So what is dependence? Dependency indicates a semantic relationship between two or more elements. Dependency from post schedule to post exists between posts used in both the add and remove operation of the schedule. Generalization connect a subclass to its superclass. It denotes an init of attributes and behavior from the superclass to the subclass and indicates its specialization in the subclass of more generalized superclass. Generalization relationship. UML permits a class to inherit from multiple superclass, although some programming languages do not permit multiple inheritance. Association relationship. If two classes in model need to communicate with each other, there must be link between them. An association denotes that link. Here we can indicate multiple association by adding multiple adornment to the line denoting the associations. The example indicates the student has one or more instructor. Association rule, the example indicates that every instructor has one or more student. We can also indicate the behavior of an object in association using name rules. Teachers learn from. Association relationship, we can also name association, student, membership, team. Association relationship, we can also dual association, student one, member of team, whereas member president of student. Association relationship continued. We can constrain the association relationship by defining the navigability of the association. Here, a router object requests service from DNS object by sending message to the server. The direction of the association indicates that server has no acknowledgement of the router. Association relationship. Association can also object themselves called link class or association class. So in this diagram, you can see registration is a class name, model number, serial number, warranty of the data member, product, and warranty belongs to the association relationship. A class can have several associations. Here, linked, list node, previous, and next. This is doubly linked list. Can have self-association. Here you can see we can model car contain other object, way of special association, aggregation, and composition. And aggregation specify the whole part of the between aggregate and the whole constitution part. Here the car engine transmission. Here the aggregate specify the whole relationship between aggregate and constitution part, where the part can be exist independently from aggregate. Aggregation are denoted hollow diamond adornment of the association. Here, this is third example. A score bar, title bar, menu bar. It's a whole diamond belongs to the window. So next we will see in coming session. Thank you.